Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. Today we're making baked pork chops and we're gonna fix some rice with this a special way. These pork chops are very easy. We're gonna make a marinade to go over them and we're gonna cook them in the oven. It's gonna be so good. And then we'll add the rice. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spray my pan. I think this is a 9x11. I use it all the time, but I love it. So, and I don't normally use gloves when I handle meat, but I'm going to today because I'm gonna be doing two different things, and that way I won't have to just constantly wash my hands because they're already cleaned and washed. So I've got center cut pork chops. You can use any kind that you want to buy. I like bone in because I think it tastes better. And this recipe calls for 6. I don't know how many's in this. There's 5 in here. So this will work out fine. And I'm just gonna put them in this baking dish. You can use a pan too. And just lay them flat down. Just like that. I'm gonna set these aside and we're gonna mix up like a little marinade or, well, we're gonna mix up something that we're gonna spread over the pork chops. So it calls for 2 tablespoons of water. By the way, I found this in a cookbook. It was an old Church of God cookbook that my mom put the recipe in here, so that's special to me. So it's baked pork chops, and she used 6 pork chops. My mom didn't even like to cook. I couldn't believe I found this. She had her specialties though, but I'm thankful I found this in the old Church of God cookbook. Not gonna measure this stuff, except for the brown sugar, and I am doubling this recipe just in case we need it. Let's just see if we need it. It'll make it good if we have more anyway. So this is ground mustard, dry mustard, and it calls for a teaspoon, and I'm gonna guess and use a couple. 1, 2. Remember, I'm doubling this. The recipe will be in the description box. Same thing with the paprika. Don't do good with those little shakers either. So we're gonna just 1, 2. Anything with brown sugar and smoked paprika will be good. And then some salt and pepper. I already put the water in there if I didn't tell you. I do like pepper. Well, I like salt too. And then we're just gonna stir this up. We have our oven preheating at 350. We're just gonna mix this together. This is such an easy dish to make, it sounds like, and I like pork chops. Let's set this aside, and I hope you can see this. I'm just gonna pour this over. It says you can brush it on, but it looks pourable to me. And it says to bake it at 350, being careful to turn the chops often and baste them when you turn them. So that's why I doubled my recipe, because I wanted to make sure I had enough of this marinade. So I'm gonna use it like that, and I'm just gonna brush this over all the pork chops. Y'all, I don't know where my basting brush is. There's so many things I don't know where it is, but I'll get there, I promise. But you have to eat, don't you? So, we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 and we're gonna bake this. How long are we gonna bake this? Oh, we're gonna turn it often, basting with sauce each time, and the baking time varies with size of your pork chops and the thickness. So, and you wanna serve this without draining it. So you want to serve it with this sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in and get it started. I'm glad I have 2 ovens. I have one over here. I don't know if you can see it. I've got something in there. I've got this one going, and we're gonna make the rice next. And it's my daughter's recipe. I'm excited to make it. I love it. So we'll check that in about 10 minutes, maybe baste it again. I may have to make some more. Look, that's all I've got left and I doubled it. It's been about 10 minutes since I put the pork chops in. The rice is gonna take longer than pork chops. I should have done them first. This looks so good, but I'm not gonna turn them over yet. They are really looking good. So let's do the rice real quick. It's easy. All right, y'all, let's get this rice going. So this is a cup of long grain white rice, and I'm putting in this rice in the baking dish, and I hope it's big enough for all this. I'm trying to decide. Should I change? Let's change it to this, just in case. Just in case. But that's a little bit bigger. We are gonna add French onion soup. Y'all don't tell Sweet Hunter he loves this rice, and do not tell him French onion soup is in here. So we're gonna add that. We are gonna add beef, and I do not know how to say that, but CONSOMME. It's with the soups. I had to look and look. I thought it was just beef broth, but it evidently isn't. So maybe somebody can educate me with this. So we're gonna pour that in over the rice. Now I have 8 ounces of mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, I'm sure you can leave these out, but we love mushrooms, so it's gonna be good. And they are washed. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the W sauce. I tried to say it, y'all know that. I tried to say it. So I'm just gonna guess at that. I love this stuff. You can't get enough of it for me. And then we're gonna use a 1/4 cup of butter sliced on top of this. So there's a half, and there's a 1/4. That sure don't seem like enough. I love butter. I cannot tell you how good this rice dish is. My daughter brings it to a lot of family gatherings. She takes it to potluck dinners. It carries well. It's really, really good. I'm just slicing the butter on top. Now what we're going to do, so that's 1/4 cup of butter. We are going to cover this tightly with foil. Let's see, this is brand new, so me and packages and boxes don't do well. Well, that was easy. Now it says to do this very tightly. So I'm going to encourage you to do it very tightly. So this goes in an oven that's preheated to 425. Very tightly, it says. So we're going to do this for 40 minutes. Bake it. So we're going to bake that at 40 minutes. And then we're going to take it out, add 1 more ingredient, and cook it a little bit more, and then it's done. So now let's check the pork chops. Now you can see they're cooking good, and that marinade is doing real good. I might make too much. But it says to turn the pork chops over. So that's what we're gonna do now. Don't that look good? Oh, that looks so good. So you might not have to double that marinade, but I don't think it could hurt, do you? This looks so good. I would say probably about 10 or 15 minutes, these are gonna be done. Sweet Hunter's gonna be in love. So I'm gonna just pour the rest of this marinade over the top. Make sure both sides get it good. We're gonna put it back in the oven and let it bake about 10 more minutes. I'm cleaning up my mess, I was trying to decide, should I fix a salad or should I fix slaw? And we've had a salad a lot lately. I try to make one a week. So I guess we're having slaw. I don't know if you'll see this before Easter or after Easter, but happy Resurrection Day. Our pastor talked last night at the Wednesday night service. People miss so much on Wednesday nights. I missed it for so long when we were gone. But he talked about how this is so much more important than Christmas. And everybody gets excited about Christmas. So it was very, very good because he rose again. So that's why I say happy Resurrection Day. I really appreciate my church. I appreciate the Lord. I appreciate my family. I appreciate my friends. And I appreciate you so much. So the pork chops got done way before the rice did. The rice still lacks about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pork chops out. So you can see what they look like. They look delicious. My rice is ready to take out. These look so good. They look very good. So I'm gonna cover these with foil and let them sit out just a few minutes. And now we're gonna get our rice out. So the rice is cooked for 40 minutes. Now you take the foil off and you add Parmesan cheese. Let me show you what the rice looks like. So now is the time you just want to fluff these up. It looks really, really good. And then we're gonna add some Parmesan cheese to it. So the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. The fresh, of course, would be much better. Just put this on top. We fluffed the rice and now we're gonna put it in the oven without the foil and let it cook for 20 more minutes. And now we wait. Everything's ready. I'm getting the rice out of the oven. I actually dipped into it where I'd have a bite to taste and let it cool. So, this looks so good. Like I said, if you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to add mushrooms. I've let this little bite sit out here for just a few minutes. Let me taste of it. That is the best rice ever. If you haven't tried this, You know, I don't know what she calls this, but I have video on it. But I showed you how to do it today. So I'm gonna dip, here's the pork chops, here's the rice. So I am gonna actually dip the rice in this same dish with the pork chop. I read it all about this marinade being in my rice. I think that'll just make it taste good. So I'm just gonna put this right in here with this where I can have this rice dish soaking. I'm telling y'all, this is a great meal right here. Simple, easy. Add a salad, something green. I'm doing slaw. Very, very good. Y'all need to try it. It's very good. So I'm gonna let this soak. Baked pork chops and rice and slaw. I have to get slaw out. Supper's ready. I sure hope you try this. It's so good. We're fixing to eat. We thank y'all for watching. Y'all go cook something.